Hello, folks. Welcome back. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania. Reactions to the nomination of Brent Bozell, the founder of the Media Research Center, are pouring in from South Africa from all walks of life, from political parties, from media commentators, journalists, as well as trade unionists. And let's take a look at some of those immediate reactions in the aftermath of President Trump's nomination of Brent Bozell, a staunch conservative, to be the head of our diplomatic mission in Pretoria. Now, Bozell was due to lead the Voice of America and other U.S. government media operations until Trump ended that program. And so now he's been nominated to be the ambassador to South Africa. The Freedom Front Plus has welcomed the nomination of media critic Brent Bozell, saying Bozell's appointment is not for nothing. He's a veteran conservative media commentator, media expert, and political activist. Clearly, the Trump administration wants a representative in South Africa who will keep their ear to the ground so as to keep Trump up to date with political developments and the South African media's role and message. That's what the party said in a statement. That's a very balanced approach to it. Not many other comments come from political parties at this stage, but there is one other political party that truly stands out. Predictably, the economic freedom fighters have responded with ludicrous indignation, the sort of thing one would expect from a collapsing, irrelevant, attention-seeking band of race hustlers. And let's see what the EFF had to say about Bozell's nomination. It is a calculated act of aggression, a blatant declaration of war against the sovereignty, dignity, and aspirations of the South African people. It is clear that Trump, through this appointment, has no intention of mending the already strained relations between our nations, but instead seeks to deepen the divide and impose his imperialist agenda on our soil. I'm sorry, folks. How do you possibly take these people seriously? Act of aggression? Undermine the sovereignty of South Africa? What a ridiculous bunch of claptrap. These people are just comical, to say the least. Look, the prison jumpsuits were entertaining, but even that's worn old. The EFF is a party in decline, a party in disarray, a party that its rich, liberal, white backers are having second thoughts about, and it seeks attention. This is a ridiculous response to the appointment of Brent Bozell to be the ambassador. It's probably the most ridiculous we've seen thus far, and likely be among the most ridiculous ever stated. These people can't be taken seriously. Not even for a heartbeat. Bazima Shilowa, the former COSATU General Secretary, said the following, which is why, regardless of his history, the new ambassador, if he's confirmed by Congress, and if he comes here and is credited, I think that would be the best way in which Trump will send his message to us and say, forget what we say every day. This is what our concerns are. We will tell them this is possible, and that is not possible. At the moment, we just have to do a wait-and-see game. Well, that's pretty prescient and calm response from the former head of COSATU, the former General Secretary. That's a decent approach, and he's correct. People need to calm down, wait and see when the ambassador arrives, presents his credentials and bona fides, and accepted by South Africa's government as representative for the president in South Africa. It's a lot different than Trump's last term when he picked Lana Marks, a handbag maker, based on her contributions to his campaign and her familiarity with Trump, having moved in the same elite circles of rich people. This is actually an accomplished person who can perform the job. Well said by the former COSATU General Secretary. The Daily Maverick's Peter Fabricius, a well-known journalist in South Africa, said South Africa's already rocky relations with the U.S. are likely to get rockier with President Donald Trump's nomination this week of the conservative media critic and ardent pro-Israeli sympathizer Leo Brent Bozell III as his ambassador to South Africa. Well, it's hard to argue with Peter Fabricius' assessment there. Things are rocky. I don't know if they're going to get rockier. And quite frankly, I think that this decision, which he also alludes to in his article in the Daily Maverick, is probably much better than having sent Joel Pollak vis-a-vis the question of Israel. But quite frankly, the South Africans need to get over this issue of Israel and quit hanging up on it. Do you want people to die from HIV? Do you want people to starve? Do you want gender-based violence to be exacerbated in South Africa because of your arrogance over Israel? This isn't about Israel. The ANC is making it about Israel. This is about the insults to the United States, the actions directly against our national interests that the ANC had been engaged in for several years. And it predates Donald Trump. And that needs to be addressed. As far as Brent Bozell or Joel Pollak or whoever might be the ambassador to South Africa, this issue of Israel is not the sticking point, except for the ANC. Why do they care more about Gazans than they care about South Africans? Ask yourself that, South Africa. Balance analysis there from Daily Maverick's Peter Fabricius. And Bob Wakesa, who's the director of the Wits University's African Center for the Study of the United States, which I find entertaining. Racist and leftist liberals come on this channel and attack me. Who are you to talk about South Africa? Well, who is Wits to have an African Center for the Study of the United States? Perfectly fine. They're entitled to it. They're political scientists, as am I, and therefore I study South Africa. So, foot-sec. Now, Bob Wakesa said the following: I see him not quite succeeding as an ambassador. Really? But being more of a rabble-rouser all the time, kind of just throwing everything at the ANC and the South African government. This is a person that is going to try to force or at least lean on South Africa to take a less anti-Israel position and more of a position that aligns with U.S. interests, which is support for Israel and abandoning the Palestinian cause. Well, Mr. Mukasey, your analysis is flat out wrong. No one's abandoning the Palestinian cause. No one has given more to Palestine and done more for Palestinians than the United States. We have funded Gaza to the tune of billions of dollars. Unfortunately, terrorists run that territory and have attacked Israel and murdered 1,200 civilians. Your analysis is completely off base. Whomever the ambassador would have been selected to go to Pretoria would have been a strong position vis-a-vis Israel. That's the United States' position. Do you not understand that the ambassador's role is to represent the President of the United States? President Trump is very strong pro-Israel. So was his predecessor. So I don't really understand your commentary here, Mr. Wakesa from Wits University. It's completely off the mark. You're being either dishonest or you don't understand how diplomacy works. Whatever the case is, just can't cotton this answer. This person, any person, would be doing that. And the South African government needs to get beyond it. A rabble-rouser, really a rabble-rouser. Well, Joel Pollak would have been a rabble-rouser potentially, but Brent Bozell, possibly, we shall see. Also fascinating in this whole conversation, folks, is the attention that certain media are giving to who Brent Bozell is, defining him by the actions of his son. Times Live says, Trump nominates father of January 6 rioter as U.S. ambassador to South Africa. Brent Bozell heads U.S. Agency for Global Media, which owns the government-backed media house Voice America. Well, that's actually a factually incorrect statement. He doesn't head the Global Agency for Media, Agency for Global Media. That doesn't exist. It's been suspended. And he never took up that position. He was in transition to take it up. So he was nominated on 23rd of January, and on the 14th of March, Trump issued an executive order basically killing the Agency for Global Media. So he never really ran the thing. He was never confirmed in that role. So that's a misleading headline. So get your facts straight, Times Live. And why do you fixate on what his son did? Shall we look at the author's children and see what they've done and attribute it to the parent? Ridiculous. Has nothing to do with Brent Bozell. That's the actions of his son, whom he said was incorrect in doing it. But that's the obsession here, and even in Peter Fabricius' article, that's mentioned. It's noteworthy, but it's certainly not the headline. Fabricius puts it in the story so people are better informed, whereas the Times Live leads with the headline, basically saying, trying to tarnish his reputation by implying that he had something to do with January 6th, which he didn't. Well, there you have it, folks. Initial reactions from South Africa about Brent Bozell being the next ambassador to South Africa. And it really doesn't matter what the media, what academics or politicians say South Africa. It's what President Trump and the United States Senate decide to do. If the Senate confirms him, he'll be sent to Pretoria. It's up to the government of South Africa to accept his bona fides. Should they not, this will create a genuine diplomatic rift that will be irreparable. So I predict the next ambassador to South Africa will be Brent Bozell, short of a lightning strike. What say you, South Africa? What say you, America? Hey, world. You've got a stake in this too. Cheers.